The prison sentence of Sanjay Dutt has become a national joke. Is this punishment for dabbling with the terrorists who carried out the Bombay blast 2 decades ago? Or is this one farcical vacation?
After spending all of October in the comforts of his home, prisoner Sanjay Dutt has now been allowed another month vacation. The reason this time, his wife apparently is unwell. On India Reports tonight, we don't question the rights of prisoners, but we ask a very simple question. Do star-struck prison authorities allow all prisoners a month off to attend to ailing loved ones, or is it only star power that buys so much love and so much leniency?
And these pictures on your screen right now, after all, are the pictures of Manyata Dutt taken by India Today's very own photographers. As you can see, she's completely well enough to attend the premiere of our Rajkumar film that premiered yesterday. Here she is in all her finery attending that premiere. And on the other side, you've got her husband who's got a month's vacation from jail to attend to his quote-unquote ailing wife. Actor Sanjay Dutt has been granted a second parole of 30 days. Dutt, in just days from now, will be released from Pune's Yerwada jail. In fact, at this time tomorrow, he'll be a free man. Dutt applied for parole on medical grounds, saying that his wife Manyata Dutt was unwell. His parole application was sanctioned by Pune's Divisional Commissioner. Deshmukh sanctioned the parole after getting positive reports from the Mumbai police as well as Yerwada jail authorities.
On October 1st, Dutt was granted 2 weeks parole on medical grounds for himself, which was later extended by another 2 weeks. His return to jail was on the 30th of October. The 53-year-old actor is serving the remaining 42 months of his sentence for illegally possessing arms in case related to the 1993 Bombay blast. But we'd also like to show you what you see on your television screen. Sanjay Dutt has been given parole to look after his ailing ill wife. The question we put forth on India Reports today is, these pictures were snapped yesterday at a movie premiere. Does Manyata Dutt, Sanjay Dutt's wife, actually look ill, where her husband should be given 1 month's parole to take care of her? These pictures, once again we tell our viewers, were taken last night at a movie premiere. Something which she didn't have to attend, something she attended because she wanted to. And that is where her ill health somewhere down the line comes into question.
Well, those exclusive images taken by India Today's own photographer lays bare just what the hypocrisies at play in this story really are. Sanjay Dutt, who has spent all of October a free man, luxuriating in his house with his family, well within his rights to get that furlough and extended vacation on medical grounds, has now been granted 30 more days of freedom from the Yerwada jail on account of his apparently ill wife. But less than 24 hours ago, these pictures were taken by India Today's photographer, our very own network photographers, showing Manyata Dutt, the wife of Sanjay Dutt. We leave it to you to decide whether she's ill or not. Like Preeti said, she didn't have to be at this premiere. She's not the producer of the film. She attended it of her own volition. You can decide whether she is someone who is too ill and needs her husband out of jail to look after her. Remember that these are people of means. Remember that these are the VVIPs of Mumbai, part and parcel of the film industry. They have immense support structures, unlike many other prisoners rotting away in prisons. The question really is, has Sanjay Dutt's legal team and his own family lied to get this vacation for Sanjay Dutt, or is there something else at play? Why are all the facts not out yet? Why was Manyata Dutt at a premiere yesterday if she is really so unwell? Vikas Mishra, my colleague, is with us live from Mumbai. Several questions, Vikas, emerging from this particular story. And, I want to make it very clear to our viewers that we on Headlines Today don't judge anybody. As a prisoner, Sanjay Dutt is well within his rights to apply for parole. He's got it. The question we're asking is the hypocrisy at play here. Manyata Dutt, he says, is ill. I need to take care of her. She is unwell. And therefore, I need some parole. He's been granted that parole, perhaps because of some star power. But Vikas, she's attending movie premieres.
Very true. The pictures that India Today have access, headlines today have access, that shows that she's attending a premiere, and the ground which was given by Sanjay Dutt, that he needs a parole for 30 days, that because her wife is sick. But the picture says a very different story. Let's compare it with the case of Zebunisa. Zebunisa was a co-accused,
Right.
80-plus-year-old female, and she is also, and when the family of Zebunisa approached the Yerwada jail authorities asking for furlough and parole as well on medical grounds, it was rejected. So here on the month of October, 1st October, Sanjay Dutt got a furlough. It was extended earlier for 14 more days. For 30, in between 30 days after, again he is getting a parole for again 30 days, which can be extended further till 90
Right.
days. So, and where another case, Zebunisa, she has not got any parole, where she is she is sick, and when she got
Because
the
what
verdict came out,
grounds,
and she,
are those that Sanjay Dutt has actually been given parole because he's asked because his wife is unwell. Now, a month ago, he asked on his own medical grounds, which was again extended 2 weeks on. Now, how is it that all of this is been given to Sanjay Dutt and not to other people like you were just mentioning? Because there must be so many more asking for exactly the same and not been given.
That's what, Preeti, the procedure is very simple, that when you go for a parole, you have to approach the Pune Divisional Commissioner because the Yerwada jail is there, and then again you have to get a non-objection certificate from the local police, because this parole which Sanjay Dutt has got, it is a conditional parole where he will have to appear before the Khar police station because his residence is in the Khar vicinity of the Khar, so you have to go there. But in case of Zebunisa, they have not got any NOC from the local police here. So that's what the question is because he is getting all the process done very easily because he is Sanjay Dutt, and whereas the Zebunisa, who herself is sick and have no one to take care of, she is not getting a parole from since May when she has been lodged in Yerwada jail.
No,
so
but is this likely to create any trouble for the family? Because the fact that, right here on national television, we've got pictures of Manyata Dutt taken from less than 24 hours ago, her in jeans, having a great time at a premiere, supposedly unwell. Isn't that an example of hoodwinking the system?
This seems to be a very bizarre situation because here we have photographs where Manyata Dutt is partying there, attending a movie premiere, and on the ground which is being told that Manyata Dutt is sick and Sanjay Dutt being granted a parole.
Right.
This really seems to be that government or state government of Maharashtra Home Ministry should take real action against on this basis, and it should taken as an evidence, Shiv.
Appreciate you joining us, because we of course will keep tracking details, because right now, Shiv, the onus is not just on Sanjay Dutt because he's gone ahead and applied for parole. It's also on the authorities who gave him parole and time in and time again and denied it to others. We're going to keep a close track on the story. Time now for us to shift focus right here on India Reports. Now, the highest court of the land has found him prima facie guilty of the charge of sexual harassment. But Justice A.K. Ganguly has evaded every action from the Supreme Court constituted panel to investigate him.
Well, despite the fact that he's been found to have indulged, and I quote, in unwelcome behavior, the high-profile panel of the Supreme Court thought initiation of any action was beyond its mandate. Mandate or not, initiation of action or not. As we speak, there is enough trouble brewing for Justice Ganguly, enough for him to finally be formally investigated.
Not the words you would expect to hear from a man found guilty of unwelcome behavior, charged by those who were once his colleagues. The highest court of the land finding him prima facie guilty of the charge of sexual harassment, but cited legal restraint from initiating any action against him.
Disappoints me as a member of the legal fraternity that the Supreme Court has now chosen to do away with the matter and by saying that he was no longer a judge.
But the former judge cannot breathe easy for three main reasons.
The first reason, late last evening, the Delhi police sent an email to the ex-intern and now lawyer who had made the allegation.
We have requested her to indicate time and place where a statement can be recorded.
National Commission for Women has said that they will pursue the case regardless of what the Supreme Court has said.
महिला आयोग इसमें जरूर स्टेप लेगा और पीछे नहीं हटेगा.
Reason 3. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's letter to the President of India, Pranab Mukherjee.
The fact that the Supreme Court, which dispenses justice, for it to ignore injustice within its own premises is not something that any Indian would be comfortable with.
The similarities of the allegations against two high-profile individuals is uncanny. But the kid gloves with which Ganguly is being handled raises several questions. Why is the president not asking the former judge to step down as the West Bengal Human Rights Commission chief? Should the Supreme Court probe panel headed by the Chief Justice of India have named the victim along with the accused former judge? What was the purpose of the Supreme Court panel if not to determine guilt and initiate action? And why is the Delhi police dragging its feet on filing an FIR against Ganguly?
अगर ये सत्यता है तो खुद ही उन्हें अपने पद से अलग हो जाना चाहिए और उसके बाद जो कार्रवाई है वो कार्रवाई हो.
It's been a year since the intern faced sexual harassment at the hands of a man she worked for. Let's hope the wheels of justice don't move extra slow for one of its own. With Jaskirat Singh Baba and Kamaljeet Sandhu in New Delhi, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Almost a year after the December 16th gang rape in the capital, a lot has changed in the country. Now there are tougher laws and an awareness of one's rights, but what hasn't changed is the mindset, especially of our netas.
And adding to the long list of sexist netas, Union Minister Farooq Abdullah said that with strict laws in place, he is scared of even talking to women. Though he grudgingly apologized later, but the deep-rooted mindset problems with our lawmakers once again stand exposed.
Shocking?
यार आजकल तो डर लग गया है लड़की से बात करने का.
Sexist?
अब तो ये हालत हो गई है. बल्कि हम तो समझते हैं कि हमने किसी ने भी सेक्रेटरी नहीं रखना है अब लड़की. कि खुदा ना खास्ता कहीं ऐसी शिकायत ना हो जाए कि हम ही जेल पहुंच जाए. हालत ऐसी हो गई है.
Farooq Abdullah is scared of women. The Union Minister reflecting a sexist mindset.
यार आजकल तो डर लग गया है लड़की से बात करने का. अब तो ये हालत हो गई है. बल्कि हम तो समझते हैं कि हमने किसी ने भी सेक्रेटरी नहीं रखना है अब लड़की. कि खुदा ना खास्ता कहीं ऐसी शिकायत ना हो जाए कि हम ही जेल पहुंच जाए. हालत ऐसी हो गई है.
An uproar soon followed. Even son Omar Abdullah asking his father to apologize. And minutes after making the outrageous remark came a reluctant apology.
यार आजकल तो डर लग गया है लड़की से बात करने का. अब तो ये हालत हो गई है. बल्कि हम तो समझते हैं कि हमने किसी ने भी सेक्रेटरी नहीं रखना है अब लड़की. कि खुदा ना खास्ता कहीं ऐसी शिकायत ना हो जाए कि हम ही जेल पहुंच जाए. हालत ऐसी हो गई है. मैं मानता हूं कि रेप बढ़ गए हिंदुस्तान में. ऐसी बात नहीं है कि नहीं है. If there is something that I've said which has gone wrongly, I'm sorry for it. I never meant it that way. The question here is that one should be very careful in dealing with such things.
Less of an apology, more of arrogance.
Mr. Farooq Abdullah, through his statement, possibly gives an indication to the nation that women are to be hired only so that they can be harassed and assaulted at a place of work, which I feel is not how men across the nation feel.
A senior leader like Farooq Abdullah making such a irresponsible statement is totally unacceptable. What is he trying to do? Is he trying to send a message that if you work with a man, you must be ready to get sexually exploited or you will not get the job? I think this is totally uncalled for and he must apologize for what he has said.
But Farooq Abdullah is not alone. A week back, Samajwadi Party leader Naresh Agarwal too made a similar comment.
तमाम बड़े-बड़े अधिकारी अपने यहाँ महिला पीए नहीं रखना चाह रहे हैं, महिला असिस्टेंट नहीं रखना चाह रहे हैं. हर एक को डर हो गया, पता नहीं कब किसके ऊपर कौन सा आरोप लग जाएगा. हम लोगों ने उसी समय कहा था जब लाया जा रहा.
यार आजकल तो डर लग गया है लड़की से बात करने का. अब तो ये हालत हो गई है. बल्कि हम तो समझते हैं कि हमने किसी ने भी सेक्रेटरी नहीं रखना है अब लड़की. कि खुदा ना खास्ता कहीं ऐसी शिकायत ना हो जाए कि हम ही जेल पहुंच जाए. हालत ऐसी हो गई है. मैं मानता हूं कि रेप बढ़ गए हिंदुस्तान में. ऐसी बात नहीं है कि नहीं है.
The activists believe that the comment is more disappointing as it comes from men who are responsible for making tougher law for women's security. It reflects a deeper problem. With camera person Sanjay Khan, this is Kamaljeet Sandhu in Delhi for Headlines Today.
The most heartbreaking news reports that they would have ever seen. It's the weight of an incarcerated father to perform the last rites of his one-year-old child.
Captain Sunil James from the Merchant Navy was arrested under false charges by Togo authorities in Western Africa in July. The family's travesty didn't quite end there. His son, Vivan, succumbed to illness just days short of his first birthday. Now the family is appealing for help to bring the captain back home to see and hold his son one last time before his funeral.
It is a story that will break your heart. A story of a family that's faced not one, but two tragedies. Since July, Indian merchant ship Captain Sunil James has been in jail in Togo in Western Africa. While the family has been fighting a long and hard battle to bring the captain home, his son, 11-month-old Vivan, breathed his last on Monday. Ever since, there's been only one prayer on the distraught family's lips: help bring James home for his son's last rites.
Yes, I am hopeful. I hope and pray every single day that today is the day where it stops, that we will not have to wait anymore, that we can finally put his child to rest with the dignity that any human being deserves at this point in time.
Body of Vivan, who died after developing gangrene in intestine while undergoing a treatment, has been kept in hospital's morgue's cold storage with the hope that Captain Sunil will come back to perform the last rites. The family feel betrayed and now asks, does it take a death of a baby for government to act?
5 months ago, James had stopped at Togo to report an attack on his ship by pirates off the coast of West Africa, but instead was arrested for allegedly aiding the pirates. The Indian government only waking up to their plight after the death of his son.
I have in my hand a letter from the Indian High Commission in Ghana to Captain Sunil James' family in Mumbai. In it, they've promised to work for the immediate release of Captain James. They've got in touch with Togolese officials as well as the Togolese embassy in Ghana to try and secure that. However, despite their attempts, hope is fading for Captain James' family.
The response has always been that the Indian government is looking into the issue. Looking into the issue in itself is such a relative term. It could mean a number of things to a number of different people. So far, every single time I've asked them, what exactly are you doing? I haven't so far received one concrete plan from them.
Yesterday evening, a consular officer from our mission in Accra has traveled to Lomé. He is there in Lomé today. He hopes to meet the public prosecutor along with our honorary counsel, and also try and see if he could meet the judge, explain the current situation, and request that on compassionate grounds, if Captain Sunil James is allowed to be released.
Sources say Ministry of External Affairs is making an attempt to secure temporary relief for Captain James so that he could travel to India and conduct last rites of his son. The mission in Accra is in touch with authorities in Togo to push for his return on compassionate grounds.
Jailed, stranded and broken, while a father 1,000 miles away is yearning to see his son's face one last time, a bereaved mother and wife feels not only betrayed but deserted by her own country. Bureau Report, headlines today.